Good evening, viewers. We have political analyst Lalit Ambardar joining us today. Welcome, Lalitji.
Thank you, ma'am. My privilege. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So it's been a long time, but it's very nice to see you.
Yeah, sure. My privilege again,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. So let's start with the first piece of news, Lalitji. Now we're talking about Rahul Gandhi of the Congress Party, who said his party stands with Pawan and will not be intimidated after the Assam government moved the Supreme Court, challenging the transit anticipatory bail to him in a case related to his allegations against Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma and his wife. So now, as you know, what they have alleged is that Reniki Bhuyan Sharma has multiple passports and foreign property which were not declared in the Chief Minister's election affidavit for the April 9 assembly polls in that state. The Sharmas have rejected the allegations as false and fabricated. So, Lenati, this is really surprising, isn't it? Because if you look at the kind of popularity that Himanta Biswa has in Assam, I mean, it's like, just like he's going to be the next prime minister. He works entirely for the country in a selfless manner, and everybody from old elderly people to the youngest child seems to love him. They always want to kiss him and hug him. And it is about this kind of man that Rahul Gandhi and Pawan Khera are making allegations.
Actually, Assam, in particular, we need to remember it. It was Northeast generally has been neglected. It was never on the priorities of the prior to 2014. Northeast was not on the priority. It was like we used to always treat those states as secondary in priority states. They were neglected, ignored. And 1962, we almost, said goodbye to Assam because we could not prevent the Chinese aggression. So we thought we have lost. We gave up on Assam. It's just because of our security forces and the will of the people of Assam that, and as well as Arunachal Pradesh, that we withstood the Chinese onslaught. Otherwise, Nehru and Congress had given up on Assam. And this is after a long time. In fact, after centuries, we can see that resurgence of Sanatan is reverberating in a place called Assam. Otherwise, even before the partition, Jinnah had taken for granted that most of Assam is going to be part of Pakistan, and then the access to northeast chicken neck, we could not even negotiate on the border lines of the partition after partition. That's so narrow, such a strategic corridor. We couldn't even negotiate. Forget about abandoning Punjab Sahib and Kartarpur in Punjab, the holy places for Sikhs, for Indians, for Hindus, for Sanatanis, and we didn't care. We left it to the Pakistanis' mercy. And similarly, in the whole of Northeast, just small corridor. We just accepted that. So North is always neglected. Assam was totally neglected, and this is because of this chief minister that you hear that kind of voices, nationalist voices from that part of the country, and this is what irks Nehru and Congress, because they had assumed that because Muslim infiltration from Assam, Bengal. It had become even before partition. The Muslim was trying to consolidate their population in that part of for Northeast, so that at the time of partition they could claim that it's a Muslim majority areas could be included in Pakistan. So the plot had begun even before partition, just when the seeds of Pakistan were sown. And Assam was most part of Assam was considered to be hanging apple, like Kashmir was, like it's going to be part of Pakistan. So, and we tried to appease all these years. Assam was in turmoil, and I've been always speaking about it. Assamia are not against Hindu immigrants or refugees from Bangladesh. It's just because they don't have space. It's just that when CA came in, And I appeal to rest of the country that we should be able to accommodate all the Hindus that we abandoned Nehru and Congress abandoned in Pakistan, now in Bangladesh. We should be able to accommodate in whole of the country, like Rajasthan, Haryana. Why only put burden on Assam? Because Assam, they have lost their language, they have lost their culture because of the influx of generally the Muslims from East Pakistan, and prior to that, the Bengal, the United Bengal, the East Pakistan part of the United Bengal. So this Himanta is trying to do what we ought to have done earlier, and it is why the Muslim constituency, in fact, their partners in Assam, the Muslim partner in Assam, Congress has lost them. That Baron Mullah, we call perfume baron of that place, which was, and then also before even the president, one of the presidents who have had, he's supposed to have encouraged and patronize influx of Muslims of East Pakistan. So Himanta is on the hit list because he is trying to bring Assam closer to the mainstream. He has tried in a successful manner. He's one of the most popular political leaders in the country. And as you rightly put out, he's a potential at some time. He's got capabilities and abilities to lead the nation. That's what irks them. And this shoot and scoot policies of Congress have been only because they are bereft of any political agenda, any political topic, because they have nothing to contribute to the polity. Like you have everywhere, you have positive, constructive opposition. You lost the election doesn't mean that you lose hope. You can always hope to come back. But this Congress is very destructive. There's a destructive opposition, and they are only trying to create hurdles in whatever this government is doing. And what Pawan Khera is one of the stooges of his masters.
In fact, Manishankar Iyer called him a clown. And also bear in mind, Lalitji, that Himanta Biswa was a Congress when he moved over to BJP. And just look at the kind of abuse that Rahul Gandhi is saying. He's saying the present CM of Assam is the most corrupt in the country. He will not escape the law. His abuse of state power to harass his political components and critics is against the constitution. Isn't this the same thing that he has been saying about Modi ji also?
Exactly, that's what they did. You see, if you recall, I think Congress party had realized even before BJP realized that is the potential Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and they tried to create hurdles in in his movement from Gujarat to Delhi. It was Congress they had to recognize him that he's going to come to Delhi. Long before Modi had to undergo the primaries in his own party, Congress tried to involve him. In the cases of riots and all, defame him, demonize him, and they tried their best. But then he succeeded. It was only afterwards that BJP realized, no, this guy could come to Delhi and he could be the prime minister. And here it is. Similarly, they're trying to create similar kind of a situation for Himanta as well as Yogi Adityanath. They are trying to create the same kind of impression about him, but I don't think they will succeed. You know why? Because your electoral results are showing it. You have to realize the Hindu resurgence, Sanatana research is irreversible. I've been saying it for many years. Come what may, it's irreversible now, and people have started speaking about it. People have realized that they have a voice, and they have been long suppressed. This voice was long suppressed. And people are very vocal about it, even when they are ready to find faults within the present regime, even the BJP, wherever they go haywire. For example, that recently you had that reservation policy, caste-based appeasement. Sanatani don't want to be divided further, and Himanta has that. Trying to do that. Like imagine now you talk about Hindus in Assam. Earlier it was tribals, divide Hindus amongst various castes, tribals, Bengalis, non-Bengalis, and while a Muslim vote was considered to be a homogeneous one constituency. It's our first time you'll see in Assam that Hindus are speaking about. There's a constituency that has been cultivated, that has been reinvigorated by Himanta, that we are speaking about Hindus in Assam, which is happening for the first time under his prime minister. And you're right, he was mistreated in his party. That's what the Congress do. They know they have either they have stooges, they have either people who are asked to, when they are asked to bend, they roll on the floor. They don't like people they don't like the people who have their own voice, and especially those who have nationalistic voices. You can have nationalistic voices in Congress. In fact, pre-partition, Congress was the mother of all political parties. It was a political platform. Congress can claim that we fought for the independence, but they were very nationalistic Hindu voices within the same Congress platform. So we should not, because even a lot of those people who came into RSS and BJP, they once before partition they were on the Congress platform, because that was supposed to be a uniform platform. Congress can claim it was ours. No, it wasn't. It was a one uniform platform fighting for the independence of India. They were not all Congress people as such. So Muslim appeasing. So Congress today, and there are two things. One, they don't have any political agenda to politically face Narendra Modi. They are only, I call them, it's a very very cheap copy of pre-partition Muslim League, Jinnah's Muslim League. Jinnah tried to consolidate Muslims in the name of two-nation theory of supremacy and incompatibility of Islam and Hindus and Sikh Muslims. He tried to create hatred against Hindus, and he succeeded. He succeeded in creating divisions, in creating a Pakistan. That was part of, he was carrying forward the Ghazwa-e-Hind agenda. I always say 1947 partition was a big achievement of Ghazwa-e-Hind's agenda. And that continues. And Congress is trying to do the same thing. You know what Muslim League did before partition, only thing they are trying to do it they still claim to be secular. And by the way, let me inform your viewers that Jinnah was a very secular man before he joined Muslim League. He was more secular. He considered himself a more secular Mahatma Gandhi. In fact, very interesting, when Khilafat movement, Gandhi joined Khilafat movement, he consolidated the Muslims of India in the name of Ottoman Empire. You remember? And it was Jinnah who opposed it. He wasn't in favor of Khilafat movement. In fact, he warned Mahatma Gandhi. He never called Mahatma Gandhi Mahatma. He used to call him address him Mr. Mohandas, Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gandhi, you are doing a historical blunder by consolidating Indian Muslims' opinion on a pan-Islamic agenda. It will boomerang. Can you imagine? Same Jinnah, he hijacked the same Muslim consolidation and created Pakistan. And Mahatma Gandhi kept on saying Pakistan on my dead body, and he just allowed it to happen. So Congress is doing the same thing, only in their to achieve their urgent political agenda, which they are not able to do that. Even Muslims are even mocking at them. Muslims are even abandoning them. They may carry Gaza handbags into parliament, speak for Hamas, even call Putin a fascist. Even Netanyahu, Israel, they are trying to castigate Israel, forgetting that Israel is the only country that has been supporting us besides Russia in any military and strategic affairs. So they have, as I said, they have to oppose Narendra Modi, and they will go to any extent. Their Modi hatred is now akin to Modi hatred, India hatred, Hindu hatred. So that's Congress, that's culture. So I'm not surprised that Pawan Kheda has been given refuge, because he himself, Rahul Gandhi, has himself apologized so many times. He keeps on, he did that at Parliament. His ex-congressman who had joined BJP, he called him a Gaddar. He called him a Gaddar. That was true. I mean, how can you expect in the precincts of Parliament? He calls one ex-congressman who is not part of the BJP, oh, dekho Gaddar ja raha. That was, I mean, and he gets away with it.
Yes. In fact, Lalitji, even Himanta Biswa was very, very firm about banning madrasas in India.
Exactly. And he's going to do that. I think he is going to save. I say he is saving Assam for India. Otherwise, we were losing Assam.
Hmm.
That's very important affair. That's what I appreciate this guy. You know uh, you know we also, like modestly, you, me, we have contributed to this awakening, to some extent, modestly, to this awakening of Hindu researchers, Sanatana researchers. And when I say, when we say people like Himanta Vishwas, Himanta Sharma coming and joining us, and you feel so happy and encouraged. Like, yes, there are people who are carrying it forward and doing it so well, so nicely. And I'm sure Hindu consolidation, as I said, I'm come what may, Sanatan Hindu resurgence is irreversible, and Himanta is one of the principal protagonists of that in the contemporary sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to the next piece of news. Now, Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Saturday released a 15-year charge sheet against the Mamta Banerjee government, sharply criticizing its handling of governance, law and order, and national security ahead of the 2026 West Bengal elections. Speaking at a conference, he tied the state election to national security concerns, alleging that infiltration through Bengal threatens the entire country. He said infiltration in Assam has been stopped, and now the only entry point for infiltrators is in Bengal. So now this is a big warning point, and also the fact that Mamta's fear, running helter skelter for removing the SIR itself shows that this woman is in the wrong, and the kind of governance that she's been doing in West Bengal is not pro Bengali.
See, look at Israel. They are fighting a war, and one of the principal political opponents of Netanyahu, he comes on the public platform. He says he is my opponent, but at this time we are at war, and I have full support for my prime minister, because the nation first is the agenda. They're going by that agenda, right? But unlike India, the only political agenda appears to be to win the elections, and they are ready to do anything to catch the votes of Muslims, because they know it. Muslim vote is available, appease them, get them without realizing that we have suffered partition. And Ghazwa Hind crusade is on. SFI has put it's in their protocol. By 2047 we'll achieve that Ghazwa. You heard recently what's happening at the corporate level. Grooming is not is not limited to England, and earlier it was in Ajmer, or
not in Birmingham.
It was remotely in India. Can you imagine corporate right in the heart of Maharashtra is happening? And this is why they are so emboldened,
and
because they know they have political support.
A company called Tata.
Exactly. Tata, and I'm told there are many more such corporates which are now opening out, and this is happening in India, where India is demonized, India is defamed by India-based Islamists, India-based left liberals, secularists, that Muslims are persecuted in India. Can you imagine where Muslims are grooming Hindu girls, so-called in Hindu majority, under a fascist Hindu regime?
Absolutely.
And you say Muslims are being persecuted in India. Can you imagine?
No, you remember, Lalitji, see, when the Kerala story came out, they said it's a propaganda, right? And when Dhurandhar came out, that's also a propaganda. So whenever any facts are brought out by some filmmakers, those are propaganda, because they don't want Hindus to see the truth, so they can hide behind the secular world that they have built.
That's what it is. See, the secular word is so abused and exploited by these secular politicians, and what's at stake is the Indian nation. Hindus, this Khomeini, for example, right? This mullah who was killed by Israelis, he has demonized India. He has defamed Hindus. He accused India and Hindus of persecution of Muslims in India. Can you imagine? Indians are they call it Khomeini Sahab, as if he's and they call
Muslim
it civilization link.
Yeah, Muslim Indians are safest in India.
And this they are mourning him. In Kashmir, they abandoned their last assembly election because who was killed? Hassan Nasrullah. Hezbollah of far away in Lebanon. Well, in Lebanon, the Lebanese were distributing
Sweets.
what do they call it? They were distributing sweets, sharing sweets over his killing in Lebanon. And in India, the Islamists, the secularists are mourning his death. And you know, Hezbollah is anti-India. Hezbollah is pro-Pakistan. Hezbollah is supporting Pakistan, and we are supporting Hamas. These secularists are supporting Hamas. They are anti-Israel. We are forgetting what Hamas did. What Hamas did under the patronage of Iran in the name of so-called axis of resistance. What they inflicted on Israelis on 7th October 2023, it was barbarity. I mean, they raped half-dead women and paraded their half-naked bodies of half-dead women in the streets of Gaza. And the people are either abusing them, spitting on them, touching them, and trying to desecrate those human bodies that are still alive. And when Israel reacted to that kind of barbarity, they start casting insinuations against Israel, because we have tolerated genocide of Hindus in India.
Yeah,
as you rightly pointed out.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Lalitji, see, when this war started, the Iranian women were happy and they were sort of celebrating, and they were shouting at the women in India, the Muslim women in India, who were saying that the war is not good, and this should not happen. They are saying, do you know what was the status of women in Iran? Young girls, innocent girls, were being jailed and murdered. And you're talking about, please do not even talk about a country where you don't know what's happening to women.
Exactly. See, it's an up on their own. Americans can help them, everybody can help them, give them political support, whatever it is. But why do you have to support somebody, some regime, which has been anti-India, which has tried to provoke, incite Muslims of India? Can you imagine Hamas, one of the founders of Hamas, he addressed the Keralite Muslims and said, we must together. He was appealing the Muslims of India to come up, stand against Hindutva and Zionism. Can you imagine? I would tolerate that. It's supposed to be freedom of expression. Can you imagine that? You can't do that in Israel. Just imagine Japan. They are trying to build a mosque there. Can you imagine so much uproar? Because nobody wants to have that civilizational conflict with them. They want to avoid them. And we are suffering it. We're suffering on stage. And then you want to have civilizational links with Iran. They say thousands of years. Parishioners are living in India as refugees.
Yeah, Lalitji, you were speaking about the corporate abuse. In fact, not even one voice from Kerala, has spoken about, or against what has happened in Nashik. Why? Don't their women suffer? Yeah.
See, Kerala, Malappuram, what happened in during those Khilafat movement, when that killing, genocide happened. Yeah. Even Mahatma, so-called Mahatma Gandhi said it. The Hindu is a question of Muslims' religious sentiments. Hindus were tolerated. It was any Besant. She literally rebuked Mahatma. So what are you doing? They are killing they are removing the fetuses of Hindu women, and you are trying to you're going to whitewash it. This was any Besant, none less than any Besant. So Kerala has a history of having tolerated. In fact, Love Jihad is not it wasn't invented by Hindus of Kerala, not for RSS. It came up in the High Court of Kerala, and the case was by Christians against Muslims.
Yeah,
and we are trying to we're trying to accuse RSS of doing that. And the ISS recruitment from India, maximum came from Kerala, and there most of the girls were all these who were trapped, enticed, and taken to Kerala, taken to Syria, by Afghanistan.
Yes.
So and we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. That is why, because we have got away in the name of secularism. For example, Kashmiri genocide is whitewashed. Kashmir file film was called a propaganda film, and till now, even this government has not formally acknowledged what Kashmiri Hindus suffered was genocide. We are being treated as some kind of migrants, because this government is also possibly scared of having, if somebody's hanged, somebody is punished for genocide of Kashmiri Hindus, yeah, and Muslims of India will get annoyed. This is what we are trying to buy peace with them. But I'm sure today, tomorrow, Hindus are awakening. I'm sure very Narendra Modi. I need him for India needs Narendra Modi's vision for India for next 100 years. He has to. There's so many hurdles to cross over, and he's doing a great job. But I wish we could have clones of Narendra Modi, 100 clones of Narendra Modi, and we could have, we could speed up the process. So you have Durenda, for example. It has upped India-based secularists. They call it propaganda, because we have tried to expose what Pakistan is all about. I mean, so much of empathy for Pakistan, so much empathy for Iran, so much empathy for Iran. No, I'm not talking about. I have all the regards and respect for Iranian people, but the clergy which is fighting 1400 years old war against Sunnis. The Arab have not spoken against the war, but India is speaking against the war. Narendra Modi must speak about it. Saudi Arabia will not. In fact, they say it is Netanyahu who doesn't want ceasefire. But I say openly, and I've been speaking about it. Is Saudi Arabia doesn't want it, because the only danger, because this world will have to live with this pan-Islamism inspired terrorism, jihad, till there are internal reforms within Islam. And I seriously see ray of hope in Prince Salman, because he's trying to bring in a change. I don't know how much he will succeed, but we can see he's doing it on the ground level, and he's started in his own hometown. Yeah. So they see Iran as an enemy. Yes. Because Shia Iran is more dangerous to them at this point of time than Israel. Is they're trying to Abraham Accord is there. They're trying to have business relations with Israel. It's just for Iran. In fact, Palestinian state has not come into existence only because jihadization of Palestinian movement by Iran. Yeah. The only obstacle is Iran. Ironically, Gaza is the only place where Shias and Sunnis are fighting together, because the common enemy. Hamas, they're Sunnis, and Israel, Iran is Shia. That's the only place in the world where Shia Sunnis is collaborating against, because there's a common enemy called Jews. They're fighting against that. Otherwise, even Mahmoud is again interesting for your own viewers. Mahmoud Abbas, he's the president of Palestine, the recognized accredited president of Palestine in UN everywhere. We recognize him as the president everywhere. Mahmoud, he calls Hamas sons of dogs. Can you imagine? And we have in India-based Islamists are enamored by Hamas, the barbarians, the jihadists. So you got to understand. So Palestinians are very Iran. Just because there's an Islamic sentiment, they want to come out openly. But I can assure you, the Sunni world, especially in the Gulf, GCC countries, they want to move forward. UAE, Saudi Arabia, especially these two countries, they want to move forward. They want to get over this baggage of Islamism, but for Iran, and they would be the ones who want to decimate this clergy, this Islamofascistic clergy in Iran. Yeah.
In fact, Lalit, when I was in Dubai, I remember, Sheikh Mohammed is a very modern man of Dubai. And you know what he did when, the Brotherhood of Islam started raising their head, he immediately, in a short period, he sent his people to all the, madrasas and the mosques and had them all caught. And he said, I don't want this game here in Dubai. That's how, they, as you said, they want to progress. They want to become modern states, not become slaves of, just a religion and remain there, under the mullahs.
Yes, even Saudi Arabia, they have taken strict against this Muslim Brotherhood. Can you imagine? Recall that Khashoggi, he was cut into pieces in Turkey. He took cuts into Turkey and America. This Salman, Prince Salman is accused of having, because he thought he's an enemy of Saudi Arabia. He did his own way. You may not agree with what he did. This was horrible, killing somebody, chopping his body and taking it out suitcase. But then they thought he was a national threat. That's what I say. Saudi Arabia is trying to move, and then you don't forget, Saudi Arabia is the custodian of Makkah Medina,
Yeah.
and everybody wants to be the custodian of Islamic consolidation around the world. Turkey is want to revive the Caliphate Ottoman Empire. Pakistan wants to take the lead. Iran wants to do the same thing. But the very GCC countries, the original Islamic countries, Muslim world, they want to move forward. They want to have good relations with Israel. Want to live with peace. They have enough of wars. But these Islamists and their supporters in India, which also not only Islamist India based, but Indian secular parties, they are responsible for it. Yeah.
In fact, even the kind of links that are coming from the Nashik is so frightening, because now it is connected to Zakir Hussain. Zakir, Dr. Zakir,
Yeah.
who is in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So you see how they are operating. And this one of the ladies was connected to the Red Fort, attack. So which means it is like an octopus. The tentacles are all over. And unless, like Israel, they destroy, and this is going to really spread like virus.
This is very important and I know I think what what is coming forward, because the cases are being pursued, but I want media to talk about it. They must talk about it, because when the Red Fort bombing happened, oh, these are educated people. In Kashmir, we have had America trained pilots getting killed fighting Indian forces. We have had long before Kerala Muslim joined ISIS. We had long before that Kerala jihadis dying fighting Indian army, Indian security forces in Kashmir. Yes. From Kerala, we have had Bangalore-born Kafil Ahmed. He went to UK to pursue space technology, and what he did, remember Glasgow Airport. Airport, they attacked the Glasgow Airport, and the target were with this co-jihadis from Jordan. They attacked the Glasgow Airport, and the target was kindergarten children. And he died in that attack in Glasgow, 2007, I think, 2007. So these were always there, but we're not be talking about. And they are at the level of mullah in a madrasa, and they are in the corporate world, right in your
in fact, Lalitji, as rightly said, the war is no longer on land. It is all mental, attacks now. The highly educated people are getting into different fields, whether it is poisoning of food, poisoning of prasad, or as you see the Red Fort attack. And now you see this, they call it, the love jihad, the grooming of Hindu women. But it's all, it goes down one thing, removing Hindus, that is the only agenda, and that too in a Hindu, majority country.
See, after partition, I always maintain it. This is in Hindi, I have been saying it, kata fata jo Hindustan mila hai. Whatever is left for, this is the only place for it. This is the only place Hindus globally can claim to be their motherland, their homeland. And we have to preserve it at any cost. And the attempt is not to have partition. Just you talked about West Bengal. There was this one TMC leader. He said once, we are so many that we are already so many in India, we can create 3 Pakistans in India. That's the agenda. That's the agenda. And we have to be wary of that. And that, coupled with the political patronage they receive, whether it be in West Bengal, anywhere in Kerala, and this is a dangerous cocktail of Islamists and secularists. And we have to fight it out. And I don't know, under the political system we are in, how do we treat it? Unless you have some
see, the problem
policies.
See, the problem, Lalitji, is that money is in the wrong hands. Okay, money is funding all these things. If you look at all the kind of the protests that we have, whether it's love jihad or grooming in Birmingham, grooming gangs, they're all protected And who are they protected by? They're protected by these people with money. So what happens is they, you even if you fight, all the multinational companies are with them. You see? So we are fighting a
No, no,
losing battle. But
I don't,
you talk about Google or you
ma'am.
talk about any company. They are not supporting the right thing.
No, what I just want to point out, it's not the money that is driving this what love jihad or whatever.
Agenda,
It's
yeah.
the ideology. It's the ideology. As I said, they don't want to create Pakistans now. They want to capture the whole of India. They
Whole world.
believe this is the land of their ancestors.
Mm.
This is the land of Mughal. This is the land of Tipu Sultan. This is the land of Abdalis and all. They want to capture the power here. They think this is their land. They have a legitimate right on it. So the 2047 agenda, they will use every available platform means to do it. Money is part of it, but money is not the agenda. I said in Kashmir Jihad, for example, they didn't do it. You have to give credit to the Kashmiri Islamists. They never complained of any economic deprivation in India. They're living like the most privileged people in India have been Kashmiri Muslims. The most subsidized. And the conflict that Kashmir has witnessed in the past 30 years, they saw genocide of Hindus, barbaric genocide of Hindus. And despite that, you see the aerial view of Kashmir. It looks like any San Francisco uptown San Francisco. That's how, because India has taken a toll on its own self, on its security forces, trying to have a least effect or damage on the locals, and we have patronized them. I said not one till now has been charged of genocide of Kashmiri Hindus in Kashmir. So similarly, what's happening in around, see what happened in West Bengal, what's happening in UP. So there are so many districts in UP, in West Bengal, where Hindus are ready to flee because they feel they are being overwhelmingly overpowered, and they are not able to live with them. So I think that has to that can happen.
Change.
It's not a law on a problem. We have to recognize that Islamism is a problem. It took this was Obama. This not Obama. This Trump, when he came to India during his first tenure in Delhi, he said what endangers the mankind today is Islamism. And the Z of China, he once said, we have to create a great wall of resistance against Islamism. Russia is fighting it. They have fought it in their own way. They are in fact, you should watch Russian television, how they openly use the term Islamism and jihad. Unlike India, we're conspicuously silent out using the term. We were so scared somebody will get offended, and we use so much of voice, and on the television channel they try to debate with you on something which is not debatable, because we have suffered. India has suffered the worst. We suffered. Hindus have suffered for the past more than thousand years. We have suffered the worst kind of continued genocide for 1,000 years. We suffered partition of India, and we're not talking about it. We talk about Hamas. We talk about. I mean, you're talking about support of Hamas. Nobody talks of Sudan, for example. I think media should be talking about the worst, as per UN report, the worst humanity crisis the world is facing today in Sudan. Because Muslims are killing Muslims in Sudan, nobody will try to talk about it. Look at Afghanistan, women in Afghanistan. We are trying to reach out to Afghanistan through Taliban. I think enemy is a friend. That's fine. But at the same time, I know the people of Afghanistan, they love Indians. And we are trying to reach out to them with whatever welfare schemes through Taliban. That's the only way to reach the common people of Afghanistan is through this Taliban. So whatever shipment we're setting, medical or otherwise, it's only with Taliban. So we're trying to reach out to them. And I have all the sympathies for them. We don't talk about them. What's the state of women in Afghanistan? Similarly, what's happening in Sudan? What's happening in Boko Haram? Other day, Nigeria. They in northeast of Nigeria. It's almost fallen. In fact, it's called transition line, North Africa line, transition line. It's almost fallen to Islamists. Every day, the jihadis are killing the local tribals there in Africa along the transition line. We don't talk about it. I think we need to talk about it. What's happening in Japan? The people of Japan are protesting against building of a mosque. I think this has to be talked about in India. Why not? Why are people protesting? Because, as I said, it's a civilization war. And our Indians, our liberals, they are trying to connect with clergy of Iran, calling it 1,000 years of civilization link with Iran. What 1,000 years of civilization link? The original Iranians are living in India. They are adopting India as a homeland. They are proud Indians. They are Parsis. The Arab Islamization of Iran is not a civilization link that India can claim to be. The Zoroastrians are living in India. That's their homeland now. That's their adopted homeland now. And if you are connected with Nadir Shah, who created mayhem in Delhi, killed thousands in Delhi, who made the pyramid of skulls of Hindus in Delhi, do you call it a civilization link? No. We have heard in the name of Sufis who have come from Iran, they spread Islam in Kashmir through persecution of Hindus. So it's so civilization link. So I think we have to be outspoken about it and talk. The problem is Islamism, pan-Islamism, and unless we talk about it, we'll like what's happening in Nasik is going to be news for a couple of days and then it will die down.
Absolutely.
And till something else emerges somewhere. Otherwise, grooming, they did not speak about it in England because they thought they'll be accused of Islamophobia. Now people are speaking. Robinson, he has been, excommunicated in very, very, very.
He's been jailed.
Because
he's been jailed.
Yeah, he's been jailed. And we have to create the same environment here. We have to speak about it and let people know who are responsible for the partition of India. You can't claim to be. You have fought for the nation. You fought for independence because when came to test your loyalties, you betrayed your motherland and chose to divide. You're South India, for example. Even Madras presidency. Mohammad Ismail was heading the Muslim League of Madras presidency. He wanted whole of Deccan to be part of Pakistan, right? And your people in South India must know about it. He's called Baba-i-Qaum, the father of the nation. And people, I keep traveling, I ask, who Baba-i-Qaum is? About background. It's not told to them. He wanted whole of Deccan to be part of Pakistan. He invited Jinnah to Madras presidency for canvassing for Pakistan. Muslim League won all the seats in Madras presidency. Not even one was lost, all won. But he himself did not go to Pakistan. He had a lot of business there. And on the day of 14th of August, he congratulated Pakistanis. He said, we congratulate our brothers and sisters in Pakistan. They got to the land of their pious land, la, 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 la. And what do we do? We, Nehru and Congress, accommodated him in the parliament, in the Constituent Assembly of India. He was going in for proportional representation in the parliament body. We tolerated that. And other day, his a kind of a museum or office, his name has been inaugurated in Delhi. But people don't know who Mohammad Ismail is. Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, he called him Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. He's the author of two-nation theory. And through you, people must read Syed Ahmed Khan 1888 address lecture in Meerut. People do research, DSc, PhD in Pakistan on lecture because it's supposed to be the fundamentals of Pakistan. And we call him a social reformer. The other day, his anniversary was commemorated all in even just recently, last month. And he was declared as a social reformer. A man who created Pakistan. I want you to read it. He, in this address, he appeals, he says Hindus and Muslims cannot live together. We have to fight a war. Swords will be drawn. We'll appeal to our brothers in Northwest. They will come on horses. They will descend from the mountains. The war, blood will be shed. Who will win? Will rule India. This is what Sir Syed Ahmed Khan is all about.
In fact, Lalitji, when they cry for the death of Khomeini, Khomeini, when he makes all these strict claims for the women of Iran, his own family has, villas and, properties abroad, and they travel by private jet. So why are they such hypocrites? Well, what applies to the country does not apply to their own family. They have so much of wealth. So are these the people that the Indians are supporting? Indian Muslims are supporting.
They call him a spiritual leader. How can you call a person a spiritual leader whose day would begin with death to America and death to Israel? You
Yeah.
call you how can you even attribute spirituality to such a person? He's a rabid Islamist, anti-Semitic, and every congregation of Iran under him would start with death to America, death to
Yeah.
Israel, and they call him a Rouhani. He's our Rahnuma. He's a spiritual leader. If he's a spiritual leader, no wonder India continues to suffer under under the pan-Islamic agenda.
And in fact, Trump is seen as a hero because he's saving the the Iranian women, the modern Iranian women and men from the
I,
Khomeinis.
Good, you talked about Trump also. I see such a change in Delhi news channels. Even veterans have started speaking against America. I mean, Trump is not America. America is not Trump. And I always say, like Pakistan is run by GHQ Rawalpindi, Islamabad is a facade, civilian facade. Similarly, America is run by deep state, whoever is the president in White House. And what is happening in the Middle East is not Trump's agenda, it's deep state. And as I said, the parties to this whole war is not only Israel, it's also the Sunni Arab states who are. And the only thing that in the deep state in America, they maneuver their policies according to the mannerism of the one who is incumbent in the White House.
Yeah,
it happens to be Trump. And my generals, I feel so sad. They're supposed to be veterans. They're supposed to be speaking India first. They've started speaking a language which is which I think they should not be. Unlike our prime minister, he's trying to balance it out. It's a very balanced approach towards what's the crisis that we are facing. It's a big challenge to manage between all these people. And I think, but these generals, I hope my prime minister doesn't have ear to these changing voices in the newsrooms of Delhi. And I don't want to name the editors, so-called, who even hold India first agenda. They are still speaking about it, and they seem to be now gradually moving towards empathizing with Iran, and that's very wrong. I don't know the Iranian PR work happening in India. If they are doing it, I think they are doing it. They are doing it very successfully.
Yeah.
They are trying to change the public opinion, and it's bad for India. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to antagonize America. We're like, you can't antagonize Russia as your friend, but at the same time you can't ignore America.
You have to have a balance, just like
Trump.
what
Forget about Trump. Trump is not America.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Lalitji. That was a very wonderful conversation. We'll hopefully see you next week. Thank you. Sure. Good night. Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Jai Hind. Let's start.